Hello everybody, this is going to be part 2 of repairing this desktop fountain. I have extracted this terminal that was broken off. What I've done so far is drill a small hole in it and twisted some copper wire in to make a good mechanical connection. Now I'm going to solder this with another recently repaired item I have. A vintage Weller soldering gun, 100 and 140 watts. All it needed was a new tip, but it took me a long time to find one. And finally, in my travels, I found an old hardware store that had some. This was the old tip. It was no longer conductive. It didn't even heat up anymore. This one works beautifully. So let's get this soldered up. Solder flow to the heat gun. The little hole I drilled is filled up with solder. That should be a good enough repair. I may have to grind that down a little bit, but we'll see. That should be sufficient for what this is. There is my connection there I made. And there's the terminal back in its spot. But unfortunately, in the meantime, that wire came loose from the circuit board, so I will have to tack that back on now, which shouldn't be too big a deal. But I have got to attach this copper wire to this lug right here where the red wire is attached. And that should make a good connection. And we should have battery connection once again. I think I got it fixed. It just was one corroded terminal after another. Pardon that messy solder job right there in the center, but it's a good joint. That one broke. All these broke. The one broke off the switch. But I have flipped the switch. It's working on battery power. I've got the 3 AA batteries in there now. I've got the wires potted with hot glue just like China did. And of course I had to use the vintage Montgomery Ward electric glue gun. I've got a video on this by itself. I found some of those vintage style glue sticks. Again at an old Ace Hardware. These look like they had been on the shelf for quite some time. They're quite yellowed, but they seem to do the trick. Reassembled. I have the battery compartment cover in the house still. There's the control panel with the optional 4.5 volt transformer adapter. Center tap is plus, outer is minus. Turn it on. And how about that? The LEDs are lit up and the pump is running. So this thing I believe is ready to go back into service. I got water in it. As you can see, the battery cover is back installed, so I do indeed have that. Let's turn it on. Unfortunately, this one does splash out just a little bit, so I can't use it on a wooden surface. I'll have to put a towel underneath it. But yeah, there it's working very well. See, it's already put out some spots of water on the table. But it's fixed. All that trouble because I didn't take the batteries out of it. I've got it sitting on my dresser with a towel underneath it to collect any small drips of water, but here's what it looks like in the dark. But once again, this has been a look at my battery-powered desk water fountain with LED accent lights. Thank you for watching.